I'm a little out of breath from what I just did. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys some advice. Just some things that I've learned from my experience. First thing that they don't tell you is that the first woman you're ever going to be with is going to be out of her mind. It's almost like you have to, otherwise you're not really gay. You know what I mean? So the first woman I dated, oh, it was magical. A magical time in 2020. I met this woman and it was great. It was perfect. I adored her. She had her own place. I didn't. So that was already really fucking cool to me. And we hung out a few times. And then she started going back and forth on whether or not she liked me. And she would text me and be like, we can't do this anymore. I'm done. I can't do this. I'm out of here. And then she would come back and be like, just kidding. And then it would happen again and again and again. And after I confessed my love for her and she gave me no answer. And then I was like, okay, well, maybe we should like stop dating. Maybe we should stop dating because that hurt my feelings. And I have no business being with you anyway. Because I'm crazy too, clearly, for being in a situation. She came back a few months later after we said, oh, okay, we're just gonna be friends. That never works. Told me that she was then in love with me. By this time, I have realized that I'm not in love though. I was never in love. I just had never been with a woman before. And the crazy thing about being with your first woman is that you are convinced that she is the love of your life, because women are magical. They are beautiful, they are soft, they are feminine, they are strong, they are women. So when you get to be with your first one, you're like, oh my God, is this what forever feels like? It wasn't forever. So that situation went bad. And yeah, now I always tell my gaybies that I'm not wishing this on you, but it almost feels like I've never met a gay person who hasn't told me about their first gay being crazy. It's just like, it's like part of the ritual. It's almost like you just have to be with someone who stresses you the hell out. So yeah, that's what you have to look forward to. Before it gets crazy, it's going to be magical. It's going to be beautiful. And after it's over, you're going to have some experience. So rejoice. So if there was any advice I had for you gays, go find your tribe. You need to have gay friends. Now, my closest friends are straight girlies and I love them to death. Shout out to y'all. However, they can't relate to what you're saying. If you're talking about how pretty that girl was and how cute it was when you guys went on a date and how soft women are, they're gonna be like, girl, I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm a woman, but like, I don't look at women that way. So the best thing I ever did was also get a gay friend group. Now, a friend of mine, shout out to Lee, we decided in, what year was that? Was that like a year ago? I don't know when we decided. I think it was like either a year ago or 2 years ago. We decided that it would be best for us to venture out and find a group of hot gay women that we could hang out with and that we could all relate to. So we did just that. It's a very small group of us, but it has made life so much better. Not only do you have people that you can tell your stories to and they won't be like, what is she talking about? But you also have people you can go to lesbian bars with, gay events. You can talk about gay stuff. You can talk about experiences that are so unique to only the queer community. It is amazing. You can talk about the fact that sometimes when you meet a new group of people, you feel the need to randomly come out after you've come out the first time, because for some reason you want to find out if everyone's homophobic as soon as you meet them. But that's another story for another day of my trauma. But anywho, yeah, so I would definitely say it's good for you to go out and find your group of gay people. Now, if you don't know where any gay spaces are, get on Bumble. Bumble has gay people. I don't know how you feel about online dating, but personally, I've met a lot of really cool people, friends, and people that I've dated in the past through online apps. get on Bumble, set that setting to gross, okay? And go out there and find you some booze, somebody queer. Anyone, honestly, not even just gross. Set it, go out there and find some queer people so you can have queer friends. Or you can also meet people on TikTok. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but like literally one of my friends, Satoma, I met her on TikTok. Isn't that crazy? So get out there, use social media because it's meant for you to be social. Go on all the little gay pages and all the gay groups. See where the queer events are in your city, in your neighborhood. Go on Bumble, go on TikTok, the gay side, obviously, and meet your tribe, because your tribe are going to be the ones that keep you sane in this crazy queer world. Another thing that I want my gabies to know, and this is a really big one, guys, it is okay to not have any experience, any physical experience with women or with anybody queer. That does not make your identity any less valid. Please do not let people tell you that. Do not let them tell you that. You are valid. And if you know that you are queer, then you know that you are queer. You do not need sexual experience to validate that. Why do you get to make your experience any less valid because you haven't been with someone? If you know and you can feel it in your soul, trust that instinct. And if you don't know, that's okay too. You can be curious, but don't let anybody take that identity from you. If you feel comfortable calling yourself bisexual, pansexual, lesbian, gay, whatever it is, you are that. And one of my biggest flaws, and actually I still do this to this day, because for some reason the bisexual experience feels like you go back and forth with yourself every day between hearing one voice in your head that's like, actually, I'm pretty sure you're just straight and you're faking it. Like, you really just like boys and you think girls are pretty. And then the other side of you is like, actually, you're lying. You don't like boys. You've just been conditioned to. You're a lesbian. Like, I feel like a lot of times that's literally what bisexual people hear. And it's all because of what society is placed on them or on us. But you just gotta learn to block that out. You know what you like. You know how you feel. And yes, maybe you were in love with that guy last year. Maybe now you're in love with this woman this year. It's fine. That's what bisexuality is. You're bi, you know? So don't let anybody make you feel like your identity isn't valid because you're going back and forth. You're not going back and forth. It's bi two, meaning two different genders. You are you. Don't let anybody make you feel less than because it is not the same experience as theirs, or because you lack certain experiences. Now, this tip is a big one. I feel very strongly about this. Beware the straight people. Yes, you can have straight friends, straight family. However, please do not go out of your way to try and date straight people. If you are going out of your way to date straight people, we need to get to the bottom of why you are actively choosing people who would not choose you, who would not actually want to be with you. There's a very real difference between someone who is figuring out their sexuality and someone who is straight and is using you. Please use your best judgment. I know when you are a gaby, it can be hard to decipher because you're overwhelmed. You've got a million different voices going on in your head. Over time, you will learn that there are a lot of straight or straight people, whatever we're calling it, that will try to use you for sexual experiences. Do not do it. You're more than that. You deserve more than that. There are plenty of queer people who are actually interested in you. And I know it can feel like there are only 2 other queer people in the world when you first come out, because Lord knows, that's what I truly thought, that there was like some shortage of gay people. There's not. The world is very big, and I know that can sound really hard to believe, especially if you live somewhere that doesn't have as much of a queer population. Do not settle because you think sort of scarcity of queer people or of people that are actually romantically attracted to you. You do not have to go after straight people. I do not recommend it. No. Don't let yourself get used. If they are figuring out their sexuality and need someone to be there for them, that is fine. However, that does not mean you need to be their playground. You do not need to be anyone's guide into the queer community. No, you do not. Don't do it. Don't do it. And this tip, this is, I actually won't even say it specifically for, no. I feel like this tip is mostly going to apply to my bisexual kind of peoples. So, it's my experience as a bisexual woman that whenever I'm dating a man, not every single time, but often, they are very enthusiastic, let's say, about the fact that I am also attracted to women. Now, they're completely negating the fact that I am also romantically interested in women. What they're more concerned with, though, is that I am sexually interested in women. And you are going to get those people that are going to fetishize you for that. I know that sounds crazy. Why not? They love every part of me. They love my identity. They don't love your identity. They think it's cool because they think you're gonna have threesomes with them. Please make this distinction very early on. It will save you a lot of headaches and a lot of conversations with a man who is consistently trying to get you to have a threesome and seek out various sexual partners, which you will not want to do. Do not do that unless you do want to do that. If you do want to do that, by all means, liberate yourself and go on with it. So if you find yourself in a situation with someone who seems like they're a little too excited about the fact that you're sexually attracted to women and they do not actually see women as people, I really recommend staying away from those people. Specifically, it's usually cishet men. Let's not even beat around the bush. The people I'm talking about are usually cisgendered heterosexual men. You will meet them, you will tell them. I like to make people aware of my identity because it's not something that I ever want to hide. So when I'm on a date with someone and I let them know that, I'm very careful to pay attention to their reaction and the way that they are receiving it. And if they are like a little too excited and they're like, oh, that's so great, I love that, I'm very careful to ask, why is that? What do you mean by that? To which they often will reply, because we get to have threesomes. But I don't want to do that. That is less, of course, you want to be in a throuple. That's a different conversation for a different video. But I don't want to have random miscellaneous threesomes with every girl that you find attractive. That's not really my tea, honey. I'm just here on a date with you. So it is very important to uncover that very early on to save yourself some uncomfortable situations. And make sure that somebody that you're dating, if they know that you're bi, make sure it's not a fetish for them. Okay? Make sure that you women as people, and they're not just like, ooh, that means we're gonna have threesomes. They understand that you have the capacity to romantically be with a woman too, and that you would also marry a woman should you fall in love with one. Okay, most important. Do not feel any pressure to come out on any certain time. You don't need to have any labels if you don't want to. Don't let anybody pressure you to choose a sexuality, an identity, anything. That is no one's business but your own. And you can do that when you're comfortable and when you're ready to. And if that's frustrating for people, tough tits. Tell them to get over it. You are in charge of your own life, and their comfort has nothing to do with you, especially when it comes to your own identity. So do not ever let anybody make you feel like, bi, what are you, lesbian, what are you? It doesn't matter what I am because it has nothing to do with you. Okay? You're not the partner that I'm choosing. And if you were, you wouldn't be asking me stupid questions like that, trying to pressure me. The same thing goes with your friends and family. Do not feel pressure to come out to them at a certain time. they're asking you questions and stuff, you have the right to literally not answer any of them, really. You actually never have to actually come out. I don't think I've ever formally had a coming out. I told my mom, I think my siblings know, and that's just that I'm not going to have some big woo, because straight people don't have to do that. So why should you have to? You know? You don't see a lot of cis straight people walking around talking about, I am a cis female and a straight woman. We shouldn't have to do that either. So if you don't ever want to come out, you never have to. You never have to. But if you do want to come out, that's completely up to you. And it's up to you. You don't have to make a decision ever, really. Especially now. The world is becoming more and more fluid, and people are understanding how outdated our views on everything around gender, identity, and sexuality were before. So now the world is your oyster. You do what makes you feel comfortable. It's up to you. The world is queer and life is great. We're here, we're queer. Get used to it. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Subscribe to my channel. And as always, I'm so thankful for my community. Bye, guys.